Let's hop on over to Daybreak for game number 2. In the top right, we have Hwangsin from Team It's Gosu, the red Protoss. That's just been playing pretty well. And, you know, Artos has made a pretty big blog on how players over time evolve their play. Marine King started off as this 2-raxer cheesing all the way to a GSL Finals, not even able to close out an ST with his cheese. And of course, that bred 2 legends at that time. And now Marine King is one of the scariest macro Terrans. Hwangsin still in the middle of that transition, but showing it beautifully against the yellow Terran in the bottom left corner from Team Alternate Attack. It is ClouD. And ClouD is sending an SCV very early, Andre.
Yep, we will see some sort of either proxy, double proxy barracks, but it looks actually like a Marauder play. This is part of the metagame, I think, because this is a map where normally Protosses like to take a quick Nexus. Nexus first. Yeah.
Did you see? You saw a Kespa Invitational, right? Flash did this against every Protoss possible.
Yeah, Flash is taking a book out of the Slayers team, man. Oh my God, and Hwangsin, he might have a hero probe, man.
And Hwangsin scouted this in game number 1 and scouts in game number 2, and he sees it immediately, and he's gonna have to force a cancel. Now, you can see ClouD is not going to be able to finish that barracks, and he's trying to see if he can just stay with it anyways. He's going to try to reposition SCV, but the SCV does end up dropping anyways. You can see ClouD just going to restart a barracks back at home, but a great scout from Hwangsin. You can see that Hwangsin avoided a lot of heartache just from that.
So brilliant. I like this. Double probes down here makes it very difficult for ClouD to ever finish this. But nope, he's just going to get back. Oh, he's making a... Nope, he's not making a Nexus. I don't know why. I think he should have stayed with that, with the second probe. But the SCV...
He felt like he lost too much economy, probably.
I mean, you already did it, in my opinion. You might as well just go for it and just puppy guard that barracks, make sure it never goes up. But now, he should know... I mean, okay, this SCV clearly is just going to go scout. The barracks isn't planning on being finished. Let's just disengage from here and take my expansion. But look at this. Oh...
You can see that an engineering bay block is trying to stall Hwangsin from expanding, and again, nice job from ClouD, just trying to respond to the situation. You can see that probe that was initially spurned by the other probe. It was like, let me help you out with that barracks, man. It's like, no, I work better alone.
Yeah, look at this. So BM, like, man.
I'm gonna file human resources complaint. It's like, oh, I work better by myself. It's like, you're not a team player. But it's really funny because like everyone, every job interview always is like, yeah, I work so well in teams, but that's not the truth, man.
No. There should be a StarCraft tournament. No, not a StarCraft tournament. A StarCraft TV2, just to test everybody and how well they work together. I bet you 95% of those people would fail.
It's all right. Well, there's a lot of tension in the workplace of Hwangsin's economy, but he's working really hard with his second Nexus as well. And that's okay, because one probe can go to one base, and the other can go to the natural.
Not bad, bro.
So, yeah, workplace tension resolved, just like that. You can see Hwangsin is also going to be very active with his initial stalker, trying to see if he can peruse around and catch any Marines out of position. ClouD, I like his follow-up as well, just going to, double command center.
Okay, okay. Obviously, he's behind. He's looking to get back ahead. Actually, this exact same thing happened to me against Poke Bunny at MLG.
Yeah,
and
I
did this exact thing. Yeah, he was such a BMer.
He said, okay, so what happened?
Okay, no. Let me explain it. He makes the barracks and then goes, I make the barracks, he finds it and responds ROFL.
Oh, really? No. What I heard was after he beat you, he asked, hey, coach, can you tell me how to beat that?
Yeah. He goes, how do I beat Marines and Hellions? I did not answer to him.
Yeah,
okay?
He just said you started the game like as fast as you could.
No, he did it in game.
Oh, man.
And then I proxy barracks him because I was on tilt, hardcore. And he sees it, and he responds ROFL. I was going to kill the guy, man. I was going to kill him. I swear to God.
Poke Bunny is the cheekiest 16-year-old you'll ever meet.
Oh my goodness.
But, you know, both players have been cheeky to each other as well, dropping pylons and engineering bays to really stall each other's attempts to expand quicker. But you can see in the end, Hwangsin has had his economy up for 2 bays significantly longer. Now going to drop his double forges a lot earlier than he did in the previous game where he went for Twilight Council and Blink immediately. And I like this play from Hwangsin because he knows at this point he feels like he has a macro advantage, and he's really trying to solidify it by getting further ahead with upgrades because he knows ClouD's trying to expand as well.
That is correct. Just looking to develop his units as fast as possible. And I like this. Normally this does not exist because a lot of the timings actually are affected right now. Protoss just need to spend those resources on units or get that tech a lot faster, or some sort of AoE tech, whether it be High Templars, Blink Stalkers, or Colossus. But knowing that he delayed his opponent for so long, he's saying, okay, I have a lot of time before my opponent actually starts and gets his expansion. Let me go ahead, drop double forges, and then resume everything else. And that's going to be a great progression. I love it after the Robo too. That's very safe because he can get observers out in case there are something like Banshees coming out. It makes sense. Hwangsin playing very well.
You can see ClouD is also resuming everything. I'm just trying to catch up, and you can see with that third auto command, we'll be able to get an economy that's very strong. Hwangsin scouts it all with his observer. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay, because the command center lifted just as he did that. So
yeah,
Hwangsin does.
Now here's the thing. This lines up with a very nice 1-1 timing. However, ClouD is going to get his +1 attack. There is a build where Hwangsin can just stress his opponent off of 6 gateways and 1 robo off of only gateway units. The problem is making that call is pretty difficult. There's a lot of different things that you have to be scared of, I think, when you're Protoss and you're actually contemplating doing something like that. It looks like he is doing something similar. It'll be about a couple minutes later, but the robotics bay has been started. No, he might actually just take his third, so playing reactive. So ClouD will be able to get back into this game despite having the troubles in the beginning stages.
And I think that's because Hwangsin is just comfortable with mass army control compared to ClouD's. He just says, I'm going to get up, I'm just going to get up my Squirtle variation of PvT where I get Blink first into just mass gateway and Colossus. You can see Hwangsin just looks very, very comfortable dragging this game on longer. You can see ClouD as well, just trying to irk whatever he can out to make sure he's safe. You can see that he's pretty much got the production he wants other than the second starport as soon as he scouts the Colossus. But from now, I think ClouD is doing well. Look at him jump up in supply like a madman.
Yeah, ClouD is doing it really well. I mean, the fact that Hwangsin is willing to take this to endgame actually mitigates a lot of his advantage. That's such a shame because Hwangsin was geared up for a very nice 1-1 timing in my opinion, but he hasn't added on extra gateways. Instead, he is going for that 2-2. So he's continuing it very standard. If anything, he's behind in my opinion just because the upgrade, not the upgrades, the SCVs. Yeah.
ClouD's
SCVs
been
are
pumping
crazy.
them out, and Hwangsin's kind of been cutting them to get upgrades and tech and units.
He's at 57, so he's at almost maximum saturation. I don't think he should get any more probes from here actually, until that third is actually fully up. But yeah, I think Hwangsin has just had a really tough time going into this macro phase, and he still hasn't added on more gateways. There it is finally. He needed these a lot earlier in my opinion. Just to threaten his
he's being
opponent.
greedy, he's expanding, attacking. There's only so much, and you're trying to produce units at the same time. There's only so much you can really squeeze out on.
That's the thing. You have your observer. Don't produce units. You don't have to, man.
That's true. That's a really good point.
And
he's keeping tabs on him too with his observers.
Correct, which is awesome, obviously.
You're awesome.
You're awesome, Frodan.
Sick comeback, Andre.
Got you.
You can see that ClouD is now starting Viking production. He knows what Hwangsin's up to. He didn't even have to scan. He just saw the third, but he's assuming it's Hwangsin. He's going for just standard Protoss death ball. At the same time, it's interesting because Hwangsin hasn't really been going to Templar tech at all. Normally, even at this point, as soon as Protosses get the gases 5 and 6, they start teching to Templars as well. And Hwangsin really intent on just staying on Colossus for now. And you can see that his army is still looking pretty feeble at this point. There's no real meat to it. I mean, the Colossus is bigger by volume compared to the rest of the army.
But he has the gateways to back it up now. I think actually adding on a couple more, and the upgrades are actually pretty good too. I do want to mention that. Here is a phase, though, where ClouD has to be very careful because tech switches are very prevalent. It's very easy to go into High Templars from here just because you already have your Twilight Council. So ClouD needs to actually put some pressure on his opponent. He's doing that right now. However, it is coming at a really tough time for him to actually say, yes, this is the time to attack. And the main reason for that is because Hwangsin has the ability to, be all over the place. He had an advantage from the beginning. His gas could be anywhere at this point in time. It is actually with the advantage of 2-2 against 2-1. But that's not a very big advantage. Still, ClouD needs to be a little bit careful because there's a lot of things that could kill him at this point. He needs to be taking to that Ghost Academy ASAP.
Yeah, the Templar Archives, we were saying that it was normally a timing for third base. It is now finished, so ClouD has to be very wary of that. The Stalkers try to blink to see if they can catch the Vikings before they can poke the Colossus. Hwangsin now really starting to power up. Every minute that ClouD waits is exactly what Hwangsin wants. As you can see, Storm is already started.
Whoa.
You can see immediately a blink forward and a mass stim from ClouD. He is dedicated to this fight, but this is a very tight area that ClouD might be jumbled up in. Great force fields from Hwangsin, really trapping the army. Look at those Marines absolutely evaporate to the might of these Colossus. You can see 2 Colossus remains, but ClouD also snipes a third while trying to escape. Does have a decent amount of Marauders left, and Hwangsin did lose all of his sentries, but still, that was a very, very huge trade for ClouD and Hwangsin, both hitting the economy and the armies.
But the problem is all the gas is going to die from ClouD's base. And yes, he sniped the third base, but that doesn't really do that much. There's going to be a counterattack that Hwangsin has just so much momentum with. And look at this. He's actually switching to High Templars. I would actually say don't do that. Stick with Colossus and really push the effort because he has an advantage in not only the upgrades, but the army composition, seeing as his Colossus are still alive. And Hwangsin is pushing forward with additional Zealots. Frodan, this looks really bad for ClouD.
3-3 about to finish up for Hwangsin. You can see immediately ClouD scatting just to keep tabs on his opponent. Another medevac caught out of position.
Oh, wow.
And that medevac was 3/4 of energy. You can see ClouD does have a 4th base prepared, but he really doesn't have any map control whatsoever. Again, trading that third just to stall Hwangsin's gas intake. As it does have its drawbacks, but also its benefits. For now, Hwangsin is backing off because he knows his army is also really feeble. He doesn't really have a lot of ability to protect his Colossus other than Stalkers.
Correct. I mean, you have to be careful because you don't have sentries. That's the main thing. But look at this. The investment into gas is now High Templars, and now he has this powerful combination where his opponent doesn't have any ghosts. And remember what I was talking about. All of his gas, his investment into gas was gone. And that's the problem with hitting at those times when your opponent is just transitioning. You need to win the battle if you want to continue on. You can't have one of those poor trades because now there's going to be an endless flow of Hwangsin having this initiative where he has a better army composition than his opponent, and Hwangsin chooses the battles from here on out in this Protoss vs. Terran endgame.
4 Vikings being pumped out at a time from ClouD. A great choice, as Gretorp was mentioning. That's what ClouD needed to do. You can see Hwangsin now wants to engage. He does have Storm, but he doesn't have that many Zealots to tank. He's got 20, but a huge portion of them are behind the army. Ooh!
Yeah, keep doing this, Hwangsin. This is actually really good because that stim was pretty brutal. Great storms, and there are no medevacs on the ground. As you can see, the Zealots just charging in from here.
They
the
don't
Colossus,
have
oh wow, they don't have a charge, but they're still doing fantastic job. Now the Colossus will go down, the Vikings go down as well. But remember, this is awesome because all the gas is still eliminated from ClouD's army. He doesn't have that many ghosts anymore. He doesn't have that many Vikings, so the resurgence of all of this will be very, very difficult because he needs to spend gas into Ghosts, Vikings, medevacs, and Marauders, and you don't have enough gas to actually spend on all of those.
Hwangsin, I think he realizes he doesn't have charge. Or I mean, at this point, I feel like if he's gonna warp in these many Zealots, he's gotta put charge into it. He's gonna send Zealots around the perimeter to see if he can scout for bases. But for now, it's pretty much just 4 base versus 4 base. Hwangsin just in full production mode, and he catches the watchtower, a very important position. He can see those ghosts and where they're located, and that's gonna be extremely valuable to not get snuck up upon.
Exactly, but you know, through all of this, ClouD has done a fantastic job. I do want to say it's staying alive in this. He is behind, but you know, he's slowly getting ahead because I think Hwangsin just, his macro game isn't as strong. I mean, honestly, in this position, I think the top tier Protosses will have the 5th base already, at least coming up, but he's staying on 3 base economy, and that's going to be a little bit difficult. Now that Zealot, those 2 Zealots were able to take a lot off of the line at that left-hand side, but still Hwangsin doesn't have a good approach to these units. Oh, feedback!
Oh, he catches 2 in return for a snipe, and Hwangsin will take that trade every single time. 2 ghosts actually died not just lost their energy, but were taken off the field. And you can see that puts ClouD in a little bit more of a scared position. Regardless, though, you know, ClouD does have a pretty decent army composition at this point. But like you said, I feel like Hwangsin, if you drop the second robo, get another base a lot earlier, and, you know, start having small things like War Prisms out to the field to either protect the High Templar or empower them, I think it'd be a lot scarier for ClouD to engage. But for now, you can see Hwangsin now really incorporating huge map presence, covering different lanes, has pylons and High Templars in case he wants to shut down any avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And this is looking really cool because you don't usually see these from Protoss, is they put everything on one control group.
The only thing I would say that he needs to add on to this is Warp Prisms, and he would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is probably the scariest point in time for a Terran when they're playing defensive and all they're waiting on is grid engagement to surge forward and trying to get a lot of momentum, take out a couple of bases, and put his opponent on a really tough course at that end game stage. But from here, ClouD just has to, you know, bite his lip and wait, man. He can't do anything from here.
Andre.
Yeah?
ClouD is researching high sec auto tracking. And building armor.
Oh my god.
So, you know what that means?
He won the game.
It means that ClouD has officially won the game.
He won the game.
At this point.
Well, they're not finished yet. They're not finished yet.
Well, they're not This is the sickest timing ever. Hwangsin attacks
can
before
still, I know.
Oh, man. Before building armor finishes, then the planetaries will stay up.
Oh, god.
Oh,
wow. I thought there was
feedback to Ghost.
Yeah,
oh,
2 feedbacks.
4 feedbacks would have been nasty. But you can see Hwangsin now trying to take the top position. He's really content with just taking 2/3 of the map and really trying to choke out ClouD. But ClouD is content turtling for now. And building armor is getting really close to finishing.
I do want to mention one thing really quick. Charge is still not upgraded.
Charge is still not upgraded. You're absolutely correct. But Hwangsin is poking at his opponent, trying to bait him into a very hard position. At the same time, Hwangsin...
There it is. Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh.
Oof. Got really scared for ClouD right there.
Very scary. And that's how it is between High Templars and Ghosts. That's why we're seeing a lot of Protoss, Hawk, MC, they're trying to put their High Templars in War Prisms to avoid getting EMP'd. But they might even worry about that. Hwangsin has his army really clumped as well. A few EMPs can drastically change the outcome of this battle.
And ClouD, I mean, what is his objective right now? It's a little bit difficult because we just see him defending. This is his objective. Slowly add on orbital command centers because you want to trade out SCVs for mules. That's where he actually gets strengthened. Whereas Hwangsin, his advantage is going to be at having 250 supply in his army rather than 200, where you resupply really quickly to the point where ClouD is always going to be at a disadvantage in the later stages of the game. Unfortunately, I think Hwangsin was slow in that bottom right base, so it affected him quite drastically, and he wasn't able to get to that stage. For that, I would actually say that ClouD is ahead because he has the mules and the +2 building on.
Anyone who says Hwangsin is cheesy has definitely not watched his recent games, because he is just playing so passive macro at this point and really trying to rely on his army control. Look at that +1 shields finishing up, really trying to invest in full-out late-game Protoss. But that also comes into play that ClouD is going to start sacrificing SCV soon and having an incredible late-game army supply. As you can tell that he's starting to dry up on a lot of areas, and he doesn't need this many SCVs. You can see Hwangsin's going to the northwestern side, and this is very hard for Protoss to really fight Terran if they can get into a good position. At the same time,
this is great, though. Protoss is going to be in a really tough position here because he doesn't have a lot of good storm locations. Kills a lot of the Vikings there, but the Colossus are going down so fast. EMP's dropping, and it looks like there's not a lot of stuff left for Hwangsin. A couple of good storms is going to back the Terran force, but for now, I mean, that was really good for ClouD.
Yeah,
very well played from there.
I was just so confused why Hwangsin wanted to jumble up everything on that ramp for EMPs, and I was saying, you know, that's not a good spot for Protoss.
No.
I've lost so many fights on that ramp, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, at this point, Hwangsin knows he doesn't want to engage there again. Gonna get his High Templar count up again, trying to, at this point, just really rely on the fact that he's just gonna have more resources than his opponent. If he can trade armies, then eventually ClouD can't remax and he's gonna be good, but ClouD still has a pretty decent bank ready to go.
Yeah, the other big problem is that Hwangsin is investing on Colossus right now as his main force. I think that's a little bit difficult. Yes, you want to keep doing this Archon Colossus High Templar ball, but You don't want to be doing it when your opponent has already invested into so many Vikings. Here we go. A big storm goes down. Ooh. Wow. A lot of the units are very, very weak.
That is a very good storm indeed. Another good storm. Every storm that hits units is extremely valuable just because there's no medevacs on the field. EMPs disable the rest of the High Templars, though, and you see the Marauders are not even able to stim. There are so many ghosts.
There are no observers and no charge, Frodan. Oh, no. Goodness. And Hwangsin's going to lose this battle through just ClouD ghosts.
You can see ClouD is stuttering step forward, trying to see if he can pick up the opponent. But this is going to be really devastating. ClouD's got an incredible amount of ghosts. He does not want to lose his gas.
No. This is bad, Frodan. All these ghosts are so much gas. He needs to keep them alive. Hwangsin will disengage, though. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was... You do not want to do that, Aviar Terran, man. I mean, that is the worst possible situation. But even worse is not having charge 29 minutes into the game. I am going to have a pretty deep talk with Hwangsin after this game. I'm going to like, charge. Pretty good upgrade, son. Good God.
I don't understand why he doesn't have those.
He's just forgetting.
They were all one shot, and charge is guaranteed one hit. This is very, very tough. But you can see Hwangsin now pressing in. ClouD really not able to remax in time. But this is a really hard area for Hwangsin to attack into. Again, if he attacks up the ramp, he clumps up perfectly for the EMPs. Hwangsin loses his army again, and that's another good trade for ClouD. ClouD really trying to hold on to this base, though, because it's one of his few mining areas left. As you can see, Hwangsin trying to see if he can engage on a very favorable turn. A good storm. Oh, man, this is really tough, and ClouD, again, doesn't have the medevac energy to really support this.
Wow. Constant EMPs, and there they go right now. The storm is actually going to affect the Protoss quite substantially. The Zealots just cannot get in range, and the Colossus trying to do damage, but look at that nice choke, and the Zealots are just meat, but it might be too much for the Terran, and it looks like the Zealots will finally get in without charge. This is the most insane game ever. I cannot believe this is happening. Okay, now Hwangsin just overflowing his opponent with units. And once he gets into this production line, it's almost GG. There it is. ClouD is going to tap out. Hwangsin takes it 2-0 without charge.
This series was so interesting.
Yeah.
Because there was no charge. And ClouD did everything on textbook correct. I mean, if you turtle to that late game of Terran, you can get a larger army. And, you know, he had a lot of ghosts. He had planetaries. He's got all those orbital commands to drop mules. He was scanning, taking in observers. And Hwangsin would just march in with Zealots in front of everything else so that that way mortals couldn't shoot. That way stalkers couldn't blink. Yeah. It was everything was disorganized. But yeah, Hwangsin able to land the storms were so key to weaken the army. And ClouD not having that ability to really resupply that health really devastated him in the team fight.
Planetary Fortresses actually would have won ClouD the game in my opinion because Hwangsin I don't think played that up to the best potential. But that's why you need to put down Planetary Fortresses and turrets at the area where the watchtower is. If you give up that watchtower, it always gives Protoss the advantage. I shouldn't say always, but normally gives Protoss the advantage in that they can make better decisions, when to attack, when not to attack, etc. So if he has Planetary Fortresses right away, you know the Colossus are going to be there. Your Vikings instantly have a chance to do something about it. The Zealots get separated because they're going to charge up to the Planetary Fortress. It means your Marines and Marauders are empowered. You got good AMPs, etc., etc. So it's unfortunate. I think ClouD definitely did enough to actually get back into the game, but it turns out Hwangsin's macro
it's pretty good.
It's pretty well,
in
man.
the end, Hwangsin now moves up so that he has a legitimate shot to stay in the NASL.
Yes.
And this was a very important win indeed.
That guarantees him.
And it's scarier for players like Idra and QXC who are looking to move up. So all of a sudden, Hwangsin with a 2-0 win is very much in prime position to stay in NASL Season 4. So guys, we want to thank Azo for providing the support for that series. Check out Azo and their monitors at azo.com/NA.